Are you nervous that you might be making one or two subtle mistakes that could sabotage your entire chance of admission with the recommendations? It's a legitimate concern, and you, my friend, are not alone. Today, I'm talking about 4 MBA recommender mistakes, and most importantly, how to fix them. Hello, and welcome back to MBA Monday. I'm Angela Guido, the founder of Career Protocol. This is my itty-bitty masterclass on MBA recommendations. I've got lots in store for you in this video. I'm gonna talk you through problems that will sink your candidacy with respect to recommenders. I'm gonna talk about some strategies to reduce anxiety, make your recommenders' lives easier, and ensure that they're doing the very best that they can do to support your candidacy. I've got a couple of special resources hidden within this video that will take what I'm talking about today and expand it so that you can really do the very best you can on your recommendations and help your recommenders do the same. Before I get into the mistakes that people make in their recommendations, I want to first explain how incredibly important the recommendations are to your ultimate MBA application success. Schools put their money where their mouth is, or in other words, they put their word count where their concerns are. So if you look at the Wharton essays, you've got 2 essays, and combined, they're giving you about 900 words to tell your whole story. You've got to talk about how do you plan to use the Wharton MBA to help you achieve your future professional MBA goals. And then you've got taking into consideration your background, personal, professional, academic. How do you plan to make specific, meaningful contributions to the Wharton community? And between those 2 essays, you've got 900 words. When you go over to the recommendations, there are not 2 questions, but 3. So they want to hear examples that illustrate why the candidate will find success in the Wharton MBA classroom, and examples that illustrate why you believe the candidate will achieve success throughout their career. Those both have a word count of 300. And then there's a third question that says, is there anything else we should know? That also has a limit of 300 words. So if you add that together, that's 900 words per recommendation. And there are 2 recommendations. So the recommendations are going to have double the word count of the essays. It's also the case that in years past, we'll see if this is true this year, the limit wasn't actually 300 words, it was 7,000 characters, which is way more than 300 words. So recommenders are even given a little bit more space than you are to talk about you. So schools really care about recommendations for a lot of reasons. They're trying to gauge how you build relationships, how you build support for your career. Do people advocate for you? This is important to them because they fundamentally know that all of your success post-MBA is going to be about your relationships. It's going to be about the people that create opportunities for you, the people that want to work with you, the people that want to work for you, the people that want to hire you, how you interact with other people and whether other people are willing to stand up and support you is going to play a huge role in your success. So that's why your recommendations are pretty important. So let's talk about the 4 biggest things that people get wrong when working with their recommenders and approaching the recommendation process. The first thing that happens to a lot of people, and this is maybe the hardest part of working with recommenders, is they choose the wrong recommenders. There's a lot of information on the internet about what's best in terms of recommender choice. You're going to hear things like title is really important, or they have to be an alum of the school that I'm applying to, or at least they need to have an MBA. Otherwise, they're not qualified to write on my behalf. Or you might hear, like, you got to have the most senior person at your firm, the CEO, the president, the managing partner, versus someone maybe who's worked closer with you. You need to choose someone who's got some kind of relationship. They're a donor, they're a faculty member, they're connected to the school in some way. You're going to hear a lot of advice in that line. While it's certainly the case that if your recommender went to a given school and they're recommending you for that school, that's going to add just a little bit more credibility to their recommendation than if they weren't a member of that school's community. However, that is significantly less important than the quality of the recommendation itself. The quality of the recommendation itself is going to be determined by two things. Number one, how well does this person actually know you and your work? How closely have they observed you in one or ideally multiple professional contexts so that they can actually comment in a concrete and tangible way on who you are, what you've achieved, how you get stuff done, and what a rock star you are. The second thing that determines the quality of your recommendation is how much that person likes you, how much they actually love you and are willing to fight for your candidacy at that school. In other words, how hard are they willing to work to help you to get in? And so you need to prioritize the two people. Most schools ask for 2 recommendations. You need to prioritize the 2 people in your upward management life. So you do need to ideally choose people that are senior to you in the organizations that you've been a part of, past and present. And you need to choose the 2 people that are going to work the hardest to help you. They're going to go all out and just say you're an amazing person, that you belong at that school, and that you're a total rock star. And they need to have enough supporting evidence so that when they cite anecdotes about your accomplishments, there's substance behind their commentary. That's really it. If you happen to have more than 2 people that can check both of those boxes, they know you really well and they love you, then you can start to think about choosing the more senior people or choosing the people who are related to the school. But that's only if there are many people who check that box and you are blessed with a variety of options to choose from. But for most applicants, you're going to have at most 2. You might even only have 1 really, really true sponsor, true fan in your career. But if you have 2, if you have 3, then you can choose from among those. But that's who you need to prioritize. Those are the people that are going to do the very best job to showcase who you are to schools in a way that supports your candidacy. All right, the second 2 problems relate to the content of the letter itself. So if you've chosen the right 2 people, the rest of this is about execution. It's about how they go about building that letter of recommendation and supporting your candidacy. And there are 2 big mistakes that we see in MBA recommendations, even from well-intentioned, supportive recommenders. The first is lack of specificity. In other words, they're saying nice things about you, but they're not backing it up with specific anecdotes and details that allow the reader to believe what the writer is saying. See, the bottom line is your recommender, very likely, even if they're an alum of the school, are not someone whose opinion the admissions committee is automatically going to trust. They're not just going to take their word for it. They need some evidence that you're actually amazing. So they're going to have to provide rich anecdotes that show the ways in which you went about creating positive change, having an impact, and being awesome in the specific and unique ways in which you are awesome. You don't have to be awesome in every way. Just 1 or 2 is enough. But we need specific, clear evidence of that in the letter. The second problem related to the content of the letter, third problem overall, if you're tracking, is that they don't provide enough genuine support and enthusiasm within the letter. So on one side of the spectrum, you see a letter that's all kind words and no real substance to back it up. And on the other hand, you see a letter that's all substance and no kind words. And both of those are going to be problematic. The first problem, on the one hand, the letter with no detail to back it up is going to ring hollow. It's just not going to make an impression on the admissions committee in such a way that they can then put it as a firm check in the box of your candidacy. On the other side, they're going to wonder, does this person really like you? Do you really have a strong relationship? Why is this person just reporting the facts about what you've done rather than actually standing behind you and giving you a vote of enthusiasm? Both of these ends of the spectrum are going to cause problems for your candidacy because they're not going to put your best self forward. But they also, especially the lack of enthusiasm problem, that also starts to reflect potentially poorly on your self-awareness. In the worst case, it makes the admissions committee wonder if you really understand where you stand with the person writing your letter? Do you really have an accurate understanding of where your relationship stands? Did you choose the wrong person? So the remedy for both of these problems is to assist your recommenders in telling the best story that they can tell. And we have a whole process to help you do this if you work with us, either through a guided quest or through the MBA Catalyst program. You can find out more about both of those at the link below, careerprotocol.com/join, to see if having us as your guides on your MBA journey is going to help you achieve your MBA dreams. If you want even more resources on how to prepare and coach your recommenders, you can check out that video that I've linked right up there in the corner. In fact, we've got a lot of videos for recommenders and about recommenders on this channel. Down below in the description, I'm going to link 2 videos that you can share directly with your recommenders to help them think through their job and do it as effectively as possible. I've also got some links to our blog down there that have our very most top performing post, because it's a category crushing piece of advice about how to make amazing recommendations. So check all that out down in the description below. And meanwhile, onward, let's get to problem number 4. Fourth and final problem that we see with recommenders and that many, many, many students face is, let's call it procrastination. It's procrastination on your part, the candidate's part, waiting too long to prepare a memo, waiting too long to ask the recommender and lock them down. But it could also be procrastination on the part of your recommender. And again, if we go back to problem 1, if you've chosen the right recommenders, they're hopefully gonna do their job. They're not gonna wait until the 11th hour and then be like, oh, I'm sick, I just can't submit it on time. Hopefully they're gonna get it done no matter what. But the longer they wait and the more last minute they do it, the greater the risk that the recommendation is gonna have problem number 2 or problem number 3, and it'll be too late to fix it or to do anything about it. So your best bet is to ask them early, at least a month, ideally 2 months before the deadline, to prepare them with a memo that makes their life easier as they're writing the recommendation, and then to check in with them with a gentle cadence so that they're making sure to get the job done and that they don't forget what they're supposed to be doing on your behalf. Make sure they know what the deadline is, make sure they're ready to submit it early, make sure you clear with them before they commit when the deadlines are and how long you think it's going to take them to write the recommendation so that they can accurately put it in their calendar, budget the time, and get it done. All of these will help dramatically reduce the stress of recommendations and decrease the likelihood that your recommendations will damage your candidacy. A weak recommendation, an unsupportive recommendation, and a super late recommendation all stand to sabotage your chances of admission. But if you follow the tips I've given you today, choose the right recommenders, coach them a little bit, and make sure they're on time, then the recommendation stands to serve as a focal point of your candidacy and actually strengthen it so that schools know that you're the kind of person who knows how to build relationships. And after your MBA, you will be building your network, building support for your career, and advancing with all speed. Okay, that's it. That's our itty bitty masterclass on MBA recommendations. I hope you found these tips useful. If you have, please just move just slightly down in the screen that you're in here and click the subscribe button, turn the bell on so that you get MBA Monday videos notifications when they come out, which, surprise, surprise, is going to be pretty much every Monday. But this way, you're going to know when we have a new video available so that you can check it out right away. The last thing I have for you really is a question. I would love to hear from you. Where are you at with your MBA recommenders? How's it going? What are you struggling with? Share a comment down below and let us know. For most candidates, the MBA recommendations cause the most anxiety right after test scores. So it's like test score anxiety, recommender anxiety, everything else anxiety. So we're here for you. If you have a question, if you want to share where you're at, leave a comment down below. We read and reply to all intelligent, replyable comments. I really look forward to hearing from all of you. That's it for MBA Monday. We're here every week to help you achieve your MBA dreams. I'm wishing you the very best in your MBA applications, in building your network, and in gaining support from the people around you for what you really truly want to achieve in your career. I'm here to support you too, and I will see you next week on MBA Monday. Where's the clapper? Where's the clapper? And ensure that sorry, I don't know what I want to say. Hold on. All right, cut.